Hi, it's Chris, and welcome to the ColecoVision High Score Throwdown. This episode, we're looking at Space Fury from 1982. Space Fury was developed by Sega Gremlin and was released in the US arcades in 1981. Space Fury puts you against the space fleet of the Alien Commander. Maneuver your fighter to avoid enemy scouts, then fire to eliminate them before they join to complete a ship that shoots deadly fireballs. Banish the first squadron and get a chance to join with a mothership that gives you more firepower. If you defeat all the squadrons, you'll be matched against the entire alien fleet. How many of the Alien Commander's attackers can you conquer? The joystick controls the fighter's movement. Push the joystick left to rotate to the left, and push right to rotate to the right. The left fire button supplies thrust, while the right fire button fires your weapons. The keypad has no function in the game. Complete a level, and the points on the bonus timer are added to your score. All skill levels begin with players having 5 ships. A single bonus ship is added at 20,000 points. Scoring for shooting enemy ships and fireballs increases with each wave to cap out on the 4th wave and beyond. For the ColecoVision High Score Throwdown ending the week of September 5, Skill Level 2 is being played. So what do we think of Space Fury by Sega? Space Fury was one of the 12 launch titles for the ColecoVision in August of 1982. It is one of the titles that shows Coleco's ongoing push of bring the arcade home by grabbing the rights to any arcade machine Atari hadn't already secured. Space Fury plays on the similarities to Atari's Asteroids and is a competent competitor on the ColecoVision. In many ways, Space Fury feels like the inverse of Asteroids. The enemy ships start small and then come together to form a bigger ship. The single ships that spawn also won't crash into your fighter. The only thing that will kill you is an enemy fireball or a collision with a larger, rotating ships. Collisions with enemy ships gain you no points. Space Fury was also one of the first games to introduce the concepts of power-ups. In between rounds 2 through 4, the player chooses which firepower upgrade they want, and then they stick with that from level 4 on. The opening, introduction, and closing comments by the Alien Commander have always been a high point and are very impressive for a 1982 launch title. Space Fury is hobbled by 3 issues: frame rate, control input, and controllers. As the game gets more and more frantic, the game's frame rate can begin to chug as it deals with multiple sprites, and the sprites begin to flicker as well. On the control side, firing and thrusting at the same time doesn't seem to work very cleanly. You can fire or thrust, but the control input of the other button can sometimes cancel the other out. Try thrusting and firing at the same time to see what happens, and then try firing and then thrusting to see what happens. Then there's the infamous controller issues. I swear that Space Fury on a stock Coleco controller can cause your hand to ache after not too long. The way you hold the controller with your hand while rapidly pressing fire buttons is not ergonomic at all. Rapid fire anything on the stock controller is rough. The Super Action controller fares a little better. However, after a time, repeatedly pulling the top 2 triggers also becomes tiring. The most comfortable, and I feel the best way to play Space Fury, is actually with the roller controller. Putting the roller controller into joystick mode lets the trackball easily turn the ship, and the better placement of the firing buttons make it possible to play for a much longer period of time without your hand becoming cramped. If you have a roller controller, Space Fury is a much better game on it, and you should definitely give it a try. Space Fury isn't optimized for the trackball movement, however, so it can feel a little clunky to a 21st century gamer who's expecting analog control from the trackball in the game. Most of the Space Fury footage in this video was taken while playing with a roller controller. Space Fury is also available on the AtGames ColecoVision Flashback. Graphics have a brighter punch to them, but the screen is pushed in a little bit due to how the flashback is rendering the ColecoVision video display. The flashback controller is notably worse than the stock ColecoVision controller, making it an even worse control experience. Sound in Space Fury is also very harsh and unpleasant on the flashback. Of the 12 launch titles for the ColecoVision, I find Space Fury to be a decent game. You tend to get drawn in to find out what the alien commander thinks of you, and the graphics tend to oddly remind me of Atari's Space Duel. My cartridge would not display how many ships I have left. I don't know if that's a different version of the ROM, or if I have a defective cart. Now that I have a roller controller and know how much more enjoyable Space Fury is on it, the game will definitely be in a higher play rotation for me. But knowing that most gamers don't have that controller option, the pain in your fingers drags Space Fury down to a solid C. So grab your copy, turn on your ColecoVision, Phoenix, Flashback, or even an emulator and challenge the alien commander to battle. Until next time, game on!
You